Hello beautiful people. So today we are going to be cutting this pattern, beautiful picture that is on your screen. I want you to understand that this particular gown has half length and it's just basic bodice for the front. The back is the same cutting for a normal basic bodice for the back. Then the down part is normal flay skirt. It's not a 360-degree flay skirt now, it's a 180-degree flay skirt, and you know it's very easy to cut. So if you don't know how to cut it, I made a video on it. The link is on the description box. You can go check out how to cut your 180-degree flay skirt. Okay, so it's a 180-degree long flay skirt. Okay, but where the actual problem is in the front piece, in the front bodice. Okay, the back bodice is the same, and this particular gown does not necessarily need a zip, but if you want to add zip, it's okay. So what it really needs is a button at the back, just a small slit at the back. Attach your button so that your head can pass through, because as you can see, it's a neck high gown. Okay, now coming to the front pattern, everything about the basic bodice, we have plotted it here, and you know me for having to manage your data for you, and everything is sharp. Now this is the basic bodice. The neckline is 3 inches to 3 inches on the shoulder and 3 inches depth. Okay, we slanted our shoulder, we came in by ½ inch on the armhole. We have marked our basic bodice, which is bust divided by 4 plus 2 inches. I marked under bust divided by 4 inches, whatever the answer is, we added 2 inches, we marked it. Waistline divided by 4 inches, whatever we got, we added 2 inches sewing allowance, we marked it, and that is what we have marked out here. Okay, also remember that you marked your vertical measurements, shoulder to bust, shoulder to under bust, shoulder to waist. Okay, so now we are going to be marking out our bust span. Okay, if you don't know how to mark your bust span formula is on the screen. You can watch it and use it. Okay, now this particular pattern will be needing bust dart and waist dart, but I will show you how it is going to be needed. Okay, now we insert our bust dart, which is something like this. Guys, just know that this is a mini just to manage our material. Okay, the master class is where we are really going to be doing a lot of fabric cutting. Okay, but here is just the beginners class. We just want to show you how you can quickly do your things, and you don't have to say until when you become a master before you start your ready to wear business. Guys, you can cut it and take it to the joiners that have this 4-thread machine, so that they will join it for you, and it will, the inside finishing will look like ready-made. It doesn't really cost anything. Very soon I'll be going to one of our shops, so I will show you how that business is being done. People are cashing out on a daily basis, so all you need to do is go. I'm planning a live video where I will take you to the market where you can go and do your joining. Okay, so if you don't want to use your machine, you sew and then you take it to the market to weave, you take it to the joiners. Guys, it's actually very cheap. All they need you to do is cut your material fabrics, bring it to them, they will join it with their fabric machine, and it comes out looking very neat. Okay, we go back to our pattern. Now we have created the bust dart. We are now going to be creating the waist dart. Now look at how to create this waist dart. Okay, look at how you will create this waist dart. You will take 0.75 inches on the 2 sides of the leg, that leg. Okay, you know initially you can just take 0.5. no, this time around take up to 0.75 inches. I will tell you the reason for increasing what you are taking out. Now there's something I forgot to talk about, which is when taking out this bust dart, remember that if you took out 2 inches here, please come down here and add that 2 inches. Okay, you add that 2 inches that you took out here, and then you join it nicely this way. Okay, the reason is that if you took out 2 inches from this place and your waistline is 16, by the time you are sewing out these 2 inches, your waistline becomes 14. So if you don't add it back here, you will be having a shortage of waistline. Okay, now on this particular side, since I'm taking 0.575 here and 0.75 here, remember to add 1.5 to this side, and then you mark. Okay, so we are done with all this, and we are going to be cutting out our pattern now. We have cut out our pattern. There's something I did not show us, but I'll be showing us after we are done with cutting out the pattern. We have cut out the pattern. Now look at what I'm going to do. Look at what I'm going to do to our dart. Okay, you cut out that dart totally, as in totally. You cut it out totally. Okay, you come to this side. Now when cutting it, you will cut it in a way that it is almost joining this one, so that this particular part of our pattern will move freely. Okay, watch me now. You cut it out totally. I have cut it out totally. Okay, cut it out totally. Reason I cut it out totally is so that I can move this place freely. Okay, now if you are able to move this place freely, the gap here will be widened. Your dart effect will be obvious. For us to create the effect we want, we transfer this one to this place. We transfer the dart from here to here. This is what we call dart transfer. Okay, this is what we call dart transfer. Now in transferring it, you find out that this place becomes wider than it's supposed to be, and that is what we want. Now we are going to be closing that dart. We have closed the dart. Now we look for another pattern paper. All this you can do on your fabric, but what most ready-made people do that you do not know is that they transfer those fabric on pattern. Now when they cut it on their fabric, you will not see any dart. So in your mind, you'll be saying that cloth does not have dart, but you will not know that what you are seeing on the cloth is dart effect. That is why when you see some ready-made clothes, you copy it to sew it. After sewing it, your own does not have shape the way their own has. But the truth of the matter is that you don't know that they already cut it on pattern paper. They applied the dart on pattern paper before transferring it to fabric. Now when they transfer it to fabric, you will not see any of those things they've plotted out. You'll be wondering, why is your own different? Now somebody would have just said, okay, I will cut this thing, just attach rope in front. Anybody that looks at your own will know that this one will be professional sewer. But with what I am doing now, people will not understand what is going on. Where did the rope come from? People will not understand where the rope came from. Now I've already closed my dart. You place this on this place. What I want to create now is that rope. Okay, now I will choose any length I want for my rope. I can decide to make it very long. I can decide to just make it. Okay, guys, this is a rough work. It's clearly explained on my master class on fabric. Okay, but you have to watch this, you understand, to understand what exactly went on. Okay, now when I'll be marking it out, or when I'll be doing the lecture on my master class, it will not look new to you because you already know what I did. Okay, choose any length that you want for your rope, any length at all, depending on how much of a fabric that you have. But the beauty of this gown is that the rope is very long, okay, so that the rope we can drop anyhow. Guys, this is the front basic pattern. Okay, now we set this aside and we cut out our front. This is my pattern paper. You measure the waist divided by 4, you mark it. You measure your full length. Okay, this is, I like this length, let it just be here, my full length. After marking your waist measurement, rule out your hip line. Okay, this is my hip line. Then I mark my hip measurement. Remember to go up by 2 inches up and 2 inches down. Now you connect this one nicely. Okay, now the same hip measurement you marked here, you still mark it here. Okay, now in this hip measurement I mark here, because I want it to be very wide, like an A-line gown, I'll be adding 6 inches to it, or any inches you want, but I want, okay, let me just say I'm adding 5 inches. Okay, now you connect nicely from the waist to this place. Now on getting to this place, you will go up by like 1 inch or 1.5 inches, and then you connect it with your curved ruler. Okay, you connect it nicely with your curved ruler. Okay, you connect it with your curved ruler. Okay, now when you come here where you marked your waist measurement, that is waist divided by 4 plus where you marked it, you will now come up by 1 inch. Okay, now when you come up by 1 inch, you will connect it nicely. Okay, you will connect it nicely. This is the fastest way of creating, and you cover out everything nicely. This is the fastest way of creating your flare. Okay, by the time we cut it out on paper, you will see how it will fall. Okay, so this is my front pattern for the gown. Okay, now let's cut it out on our fabric. So I'll be using a different material. Okay, 2 different material for the front bodice upper part, and another color of material for the down part of the gown. Okay, so for the upper part now I'm using this. So let's cut out. The dart is in place, our rope is in place. Let's cut it out. We have done cutting out. We are done cutting. Okay, we are done cutting out, and guys, this is what it looks like. Okay, this is what it looks like. It's going to look like. Now you are going to cut out the 180-degree flare for the down part, the front part. Now we are going to take this one to the sewing machine, divide it into 2 and sew it this way. Divide this into 2 again and sew it this way. Okay, sew it, joining it together. Okay, so that you can cover the rope. You also sew this again, sew it to join the rope together. Okay, sew it to join it this way. Let me sew it and come back to show us.